and industry requirements through a blend of theory, practical, and hands-on experiences. The management of the First Technical University says the institution is resolute in its desire to positively impact the lives of the students in entrepreneurial practices, innovations, and morals. The university's Vice Chancellor, Professor Ayobami Salami, said this at a media briefing on the level of preparedness for the university's first ever convocation set to hold on Saturday, March 5, 2022, with a number of events to precede the convocation. According to him, the university is graduating 63 students, out of which 12 students bagged first-class degree, and some notable personalities will be recognized for their immense contributions to humanity.
We are graduating 63 students. We have 5 distinguished Nigerians that will be conferred with the honorary degree, namely the Chancellor of the University, Chief Dr. Tunde Afolabi, and also the High Chief Adebayo Akande, the High Chief of Ibadan Land. We have Chief Amapepu. We have Professor Toyin Falola from the United States of America, and we have Mr. Segun Agbaje. It's part of the vision of this university and part of our mission that we don't just want to graduate certificate within students from our university. We want students who will not only have certificate but will have skill, and then will be embedded in the culture of entrepreneurship. And so a part of our training is that apart from the normal degree which you earn in this university, you must be certified in a particular vocation. Apart from that, we want to have another international language, and we started with French, and you also have to be certified in that. So all these students we are graduating on Saturday, they have their first degree, they have diploma in entrepreneurship, and they also have a diploma in French language. And that French language training, it involves immersion program. And it might interest you that most of the people who are graduating first class actually came from the interlands.
While speaking during a tour of the university's facilities, Salami reiterated the commitment of the university to providing a functional education through the provision of workshops, laboratories, and consistently procuring equipment.
We have the Teton has been a very, very supportive partner of this university, and also we augment that with our internally generated revenue. But despite the fund situation, one decision we have made that our students and our staff, they must have adequate facilities to work with and create an enabling environment, because our target, our aim is to ensure that the kind of things we have in our classrooms, in our laboratories, and in our hostels are standards that are comparable to what you find outside the country. And that can see that we are walking the talk. We are not just boasting. What we have here can compare with what you have outside the country. So that instead of people send their children outside the country, what we call edutourism, we have what they can look for. They are looking for outside here and at a cheaper cost.
First Technical University, with its array of facilities, has recently ranked 7th state university in the latest National Universities Commission's university ranking. Ayodele Fakeye, ITV News.
The Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Council of the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria to ensure proper execution of relevant projects. Speaking with newsmen in Abuja, the Executive Secretary of the Commission, Hamid Boboye, said the gesture will provide a conducive learning environment for learning in the country. Boboye also added that the Council will engage in the monitoring of projects at least twice a month.
From generations of people's students within our institution. And we discussed quite a lot of things in terms of our training, our current training regime, in terms of the professionalization of a lot of those careers that created the kind of infrastructure that we are enjoying. The level of commitment of policymakers to ensuring that they superintend a process that could produce the kind of quality that we all require. And at the end of the day, I suppose also the responsibility of the youth. Because without that sense of responsibility and the discipline required, it will become very difficult for us to see that these structures are maintained over a period of time. And I think it brought us to why we are here. The need to talk to Korea, as the regulator of engineering in Nigeria, to see how can it come to the aid of UBEC in ensuring, even if perhaps we cannot get back the old days to, the practices of the old days, but at least to ensure that we can deliver quality projects to the nation.
Opportunity to realize a vision, a national vision, because to us in Korean, infrastructure development is one of the key mandates we consider that can positively influence the development of our nation. As we were talking, when both of us, he's older than me, but I know he went to a primary school that he still goes back to at this age to look at the infrastructure in those schools. I also have my own primary school that was founded in 1906. And the structures built then are still existing. The structure I went to in primary school, they are still existing. The structure I went to in my secondary school, they are still existing. But I can assure you that most of the structure we built now, within 10, 20 years, they are begging for serious renovation. This is because the practice of engineering, the practice of skill development, which our forefathers took so highly, regarded so highly, we have either ignored or practically killed those.
As part of efforts to make fish marketing more lucrative and ensure that the commodity is readily available to the people, the CIDICAT Fisheries Code Room today launched its operations in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Speaking with Impact News crew, the manager of the Code Room, Niyi Onibokun, said the gesture is to make fishes more available to fishmongers and the people. Taiwo Olarewajo was there and he completes the report.
As part of efforts to make fish marketing more lucrative and make the flow of fish readily available for the people, the CIDICAT Fisheries Code Room today launched its operations at the Olunde area of Olomi in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Speaking with Impact News crew, the manager of the Code Room, Niyi Onibokun, said the gesture is to make fishes more available to fishmongers and the general populace. He noted that the company will also provide employment for the youth, even as it will make the prices of the commodity cheaper and attractive to the people. Onibokun, however, urged both the federal and the state government to reduce the tariff on taxes and electricity in order to encourage the establishment of more private companies.
We embarked on this project 2 years ago, but to God be the glory, we are commissioning the project today. Everybody knows that food is general something that everybody normally consumes. So we will try to put hand and join the economy to grow in feeding the nation. Go throughout Ibadan and Oyo State in general. There is nowhere that you see this kind of fish depot. This is one out of the best. Our prices are attractive. When people come, they will see. We are looking towards one way or the other that government can help us in reducing their tariff, because the tariff they are giving us is too expensive, and there is no electricity because we are depending on diesel.
Also speaking at the event, a stakeholder, Engineer Adekunle, said the Code Room is basically established for the benefit of the people within the locality. Adekunle added that Fish Code Room is highly demanding and must be maintained in line with global best practices. He urged the elites in the society to help the people by creating more employment opportunities. Adekunle also called on government at all levels to reduce tax and improve more on electricity and infrastructure.
The establishment is purposely organized for people within the environment, within the locality to benefit, especially establishing a fish code room is highly demanding by the society. This will have a bigger capacity to employ people in the society. So my major advice for where to do is that they should try and keep on moving like this type of business so that it will help the society.
In his words, Ganiyu Akinshola said the essence of the establishment is for the masses to enjoy, also a form of employment for masses. He encouraged government at all levels to encourage private business owners.
Ìdí pàtàkì tí ọ́fíìsì náà ni pé kí àwọn mẹ̀kúnnù kan lè máa jàǹfààní dẹ̀ láti fi ran ìjọba Ọ̀yọ́ state náà lọ́wọ́ kí oúnjẹ lè pọ̀ yanturu. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta láti fi jẹ́ ìpèsè iṣẹ́ fún àwọn ará àdúgbò léyìí tí ó jẹ́ sọ̀pọ́tà fún àwọn ìjọba lápapọ̀. Ìyá náà dẹ̀ tó máa san tax àtúgbé ìjọba Ọ̀yọ́ lárugẹ. Iye táwọn ọmọ tàbí ó di dandan kí mẹ́ǹkónú kó jàǹfààní. So torí wọn gẹ́gẹ́ la dálẹ̀ láti rí èrè kan náà láti ṣe àǹfààní ẹ̀ kan náà lè bá rí àwọn èrè péréte ìtẹ̀ àfiṣẹ́ nìyẹn.
Highlights of the event include prayers for staff and everyone present. Taiwo Olanrewaju, IETV News.
The federal government has reconstituted a team to renegotiate the 2009 agreement it entered with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASO. Reconstituting the team today in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Adamu, said there is the need to speedily bring to conclusion all outstanding issues in the 2009 agreement. This, according to him, is in order to achieve the desired industrial peace in university campuses across the country. Adamu listed the chairman and members of the reconstituted 2009 renegotiation team as Professor Nimi Briggs and the members as Professor Lawrence Ngbale from Northeast, Professor Fumi Togunu Bekseth, and Southwest Chris Adije from Southeast, and Olu Obafemi from the North Central, among others. The minister added that the team will be inaugurated next week. He therefore called on all advisors and observers in the federal government and university-based union's 2009 agreement renegotiation team to attend the inauguration. In the meantime, students of tertiary institutions in Ondo State under the auspices of National Association of University Students have blocked highways in the state to protest the ongoing strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The student called on the federal government and members of the union to reach a common ground in a bid to end the incessant strike bedeviling the education sector.
As long as they want us to be at home, we prefer to sit down. We prefer to sit down on the road instead of sitting at home, because an idle land is the devil workshop. So instead of us to be idle at home, we prefer to stay on the street and to show the government that we are tired.
Take proactive steps towards solving this, because I don't think, with the way things are going, with what I have seen, I don't think Nigerian students are ready to leave the streets if we don't go back to class.
Take as long as the federal government aids to our request that they should end ASUU strike, because this ASUU strike of 18 has been an annual festival and which has been depriving the students from having access to quality and good education. Our calendar in various institutions has changed. A student that want to spend 4 years in university ending up spending 6 to 7 years.
We'll go on a break now. News Round returns shortly after this. Do stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching News Round on Impact Africa Television, IATV. Now, the rest of the news. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, says over 500,000 admission seekers into tertiary institutions have registered to sit for the 2022 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination, UTMA. In a statement today, the registrar of the board, Ishak Oloyede, said the target is to register a total of 1.5 million candidates before its deadline on the 26th of March. Oloyede said the board also plans to register at least 50,000 candidates per day. According to him, the exercise has been mostly successful and 99% of the problems encountered by candidates are self-inflicted as it played into the hands of fraudsters. While appealing to non-candidates to keep off registration centers, he urged parents to allow their children to read the registration instructions and follow suit. Oloyede also warned candidates not to divulge their codes to third parties, as fraudsters can use them to manipulate their profiles to their own detriment. The World Health Organization has approved a new antiviral medicine, molnupiravir, of the treatment for Omicron variant of coronavirus. This is the first oral antiviral drug to be included in the treatment guidelines for COVID-19. The global health body also urged stakeholders and health workers to ensure the active monitoring of drug safety, along with other strategies to mitigate potential harms, as the approval is based on conditional recommendation. It also disclosed that children, pregnant and breastfeeding women should not be given the drug. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has filed 8 charges against the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, and 6 orders over their involvement in alleged drug trafficking. In a suit filed before the Federal High Court in Abuja, the agency accused Kyari and 4 other police officers of conspiracy, obstruction, and dealing in cocaine worth 17.55 kilograms. The team of the lawyers, led by its Director, Prosecution and Legal Services, Joseph Sunday, also accused them of unlawfully tampering with 21.25 kilograms of cocaine. It to be recalled that the Nigerian police force had announced Kyari's arrest shortly after the agency declared him wanted. According to the NDLEA, Kyari was caught on camera handing over $61,400 in cash to compromise its operative. Similarly, the federal government has approved the request by the United States of America to extradite Kyari over alleged $1.1 million wire fraud involving Abbas Rahman, a.k.a. Hush Puppy, and 4 others. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, made this known today in an application filed before the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has rejoiced with the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Enoch Adejare Adeboye, on his 80th birthday. In a statement today, the General Secretary of the Association, Joseph Daramola, described the clergyman as a great blessing and gift not only for the body of Christ, but to the whole world. Daramola wished him good health, sound mind, and greater exploits. According to Daramola, his emergence as General Overseer of the Church was ordained by God, as it has been manifested in the line of unprecedented spreading of his ministerial impact globally. Daramola further described Adeboye as a father of fathers, the teacher of teachers, the pastor of pastors, bishops, and many general overseers, a man with impeccable integrity, an epitome of holiness, faithfulness, miracles, and humility. Sport news is next from the exciting world of sports.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the sports segment. Almeria forward Omar Sadiq is in the running for the Spanish Second Division Player of the Month award for February. The Nigerian international scored 5 goals in 4 league appearances for the Rojiblancos in the month. Sadiq will battle Aibaza Jose Copas and Gemesional of Huesca for the individual award. The forward is the favourite to win the award ahead of Copas and Sional. The 25-year-old has scored 13 goals in 24 league appearances for Almeria this season. He has picked the Player of the Month award once this season. Away from that, Chelsea owner Roman Ibrahimovic says he's planning to sell the club. In a statement on the Premier League club website, businessman Ibrahimovic said he had made the incredibly difficult decision which pains him. The Russian will not ask for any loans to be repaid and said proceeds of the sale would be donated to war victims. Ibrahimovic had said he would give stewardship and care of Chelsea to its foundation trustees following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. That led to speculation Ibrahimovic, who has loaned the club more than £1.5 billion, would put Chelsea up for sale. And in a swift reaction, Chelsea Chelsea boss Thomas Tuchel says he can only think about Chelsea with Roman Abramovich, and it's very hard for him to take this decision. Abramovich is alleged to have strong ties to Russian President Vladimir Putin, which he has denied. Still staying with the Russian-Ukraine crisis and its impact in the world of sport, Formula One has terminated its contract with the Russian Grand Prix. The sports commercial arm, which controls the calendar, has decided racing in the country is impossible following the invasion of Ukraine. The race in Sochi, scheduled for September this year, has already been cancelled. There will now no longer be a race in St. Petersburg, where it was due to move in 2023. Russian President Vladimir Putin was key in establishing the event in 2014. Putin, who remains closely associated with the race, has a place in Sochi and St. Petersburg in his hometown. The decision means F1 will not race in Russia for the foreseeable future, effectively at least for as long as Putin remains in power. And lastly in sport, world champion Max Verstappen has signed a new contract with Red Bull that lasts until the end of 2028. The Dutchman was already committed to Red Bull until the end of 2023, and the team said the new contract was in addition to his existing deal. The new contract is said to be worth in the region of 40 to 50 million euros in a year. The new contract is said to be worth in the region of 40 to 50 million euros in a year, which would make it among the most lucrative in F1 history. That's all we have for you in the exciting world of sport. My name is Isaiah Akinremi.
On the foreign scene, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has vowed not to give up in the ongoing invasion of Ukraine. This is coming as both sides today meet for ceasefire talks, even as Kyiv appealed for relief supplies to reach sheltered cities. Putin affirmed that he will not heed to the global clamor for an end to hostilities as the war entered its second week, adding that Russia intends to continue the uncompromising fight against the nation. In the meantime, the United Nations has opened a probe into alleged war crimes as Russian military continue to bombard cities in Ukraine. Anoluwakpo Morinde has more from the foreign scene.
Ukraine is finding it hard to